All right, welcome to Metal as Medicine. I'm Erik.
I'm Richard.
And this is our test run for vlogging.
Yes,
our first YouTube video.
Our first YouTube. Should be interesting.
It should be. I'm sure it already has turned out quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting experience. This is a bigger setup than I've had in the past. So.
Yeah,
And you get to utilize all your equipment.
Yay, finally.
I guess it just took a bit of a kick in the butt, eh?
Yeah, it's just nice to actually have someone to do something with instead of just by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. And you know what we should do, too? I think we should put these microphones. You want to toss it past here? So then the cables aren't running.
Oh, through, yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
With our skull, we have to rub the skull. It's like a Buddha skull.
Yeah, that will be what it is. It's just like we got to make sure everyone has a good.
You have to channel the energy of metal.
Oh, what was that evil photo with Trump and those guys over in the Middle East where they all have the glowing ball?
Yeah, the orb, like the globe.
Yeah, that weird globe. Now you just have to have a bunch of guys like touch the skull. There we go. It's our version.
We don't have power and we don't have riches, but we have metal.
Yes. And we're much more peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've had a couple of new releases in the last few weeks.
Detherous and
Blackwater Burial.
Yes.
Yes. So Detherous is kind of like a thrashy death metal, old school death metal.
Yeah, definitely. I got a little grind.
Hack to bits, hack to pieces, hack to death. No. Yes. There we go. It's called Hack to Death.
Yeah, it's Hack to Death, and I found it very reminded me a lot of had a little bit of grind in there, where you had that old Carcass and Cannibal Corpse. For me, it was definitely something that if I'm at a show and they're playing, I'm in the pit. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, it has that grindy. There's a lot of grindy riffs, like old tremolo picked riffs in it, and it reminded me of like a Slayer or a Sodomy meets Death. And the production was really raw as well. I think that's probably what stood out first and foremost for me.
That really gritty sound to it, but I found that it was the singer's voice just reminded me of Carcass from back in the day, just that weird growl that the singer from Carcass had, and there was a lot of riffs and changes that were reminding me there was one, I can't remember the name of the song right now, but it was it really reminded me of Hammer Smash Face for a second there, just how it switched abruptly, and I was like, yeah, I hear Cannibal Corpse and Carcass for me, and I definitely did hear some Slayer though. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of the title track was definitely probably my favorite song on the record. It just had that really gnarly groove to it. It pulled back a little bit from the full-on just rip your face off, but it just had that great headbanger kind of sound to it. So.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. And Practitioners of Pain, I think, stood out for me. Even the intro riff right away just reminds me of Slayer, but just grinds the shit out of death metal and is right in your face. And like you said, there's bits there where all of a sudden the groove will change or the melody would change into something a little bit more melodic, and it doesn't really catch you off guard as it is to just kind of change the atmosphere that is created and just here, check this shit out now.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was definitely. They're definitely somebody who's going to tear your face off live.
Oh yeah, and they do, man. Yeah, because they came through back in, I believe it was May or June, because we had them on the podcast.
Okay.
They were promoting the album a lot earlier than it was released, but still, they played most of the songs live, and it was awesome, man. They ripped.
Yeah, I could definitely see myself sitting there and being a crazy person during their set, just being whatever. This is the kind of thing that you have to throw down for.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm in the pit for sure. Would love to see these guys actually. That would be very interesting. At least my outcome would be bruised.
Next time they come through town, for sure, man. We'll check it out.
Oh yeah.
And we'll have them on the podcast again. We'll do a video podcast with them. I think they would love that.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. I always like getting to interview the new guys and stuff like that. And then I was really impressed though with Blackwater Burial. I have to say, it's like,
I think they're described as like progressive death metal, but it's definitely a very techy as well. So like maybe progressive tech death.
I really, with them, it was like, yeah, I could see the prog in there. There were certain songs like Existential Crisis that really jumped out at me, and I was like, they just had like that Opeth kind of key changes to it, like the old Opeth when they were death metal, you know, like that was like, and I just sat there, I was like, okay, this, like, when I first started listening to the album, I was like, yeah, it's like tech death, and I'm like, tech death with like melodic death metal with tech death, and I was like, I'm down. I love mellow death, so. But then when Existential Crisis came on, I was definitely like, it just caught me. I was like, okay, that's awesome. And the opening, one of the opening riffs there, the progression was just amazing. And Cerebral Peptides was another one. I love that ascending riff that it comes in with the melody. It just had this really tight, really like, just immediately, like, I was grabbed. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And I was just the other day going for my daily run, and it came on, and I had just exhausted myself because I started running too fast.
I don't blame you though, but
Yeah,
like, because like the beat and the pace of the music is just like it's spot on. Like the riffs, like you said, the progression of the riffs, the way that they switch from like a tech to more of like a melodic riffs. It just gives you the energy to just go.
Yeah,
and like Cerebral Peptides, the intro, the clean toned intro is just like unreal. It sounds so beautiful, and the way it just like transists into tech death, that is just like the tone of the guitar has like a bit of like a fuzz to it, so it almost sounds like the guitars are being dragged through mud, but like it has the technicalities there. And you can clearly understand and hear the riffs that are being played.
Really nice production, actually. I really liked. I could hear everything they were doing. I could hear the bass so well compared to the guitars and the drums, and it was just like it definitely has its ups and downs in the music, which I really enjoy. I like a band with a lot of dynamics to it. I've always loved it when you can have that mellow part right in the middle. A band that we both were recently seeing, so I was at Truant, and I actually was like, that was one thing I liked with them. They just kind of threw that in the middle of a song, sort of thing. But like Blackwater Burial definitely had that, like that Opeth progression was the first thing that really caught me with them. I was just like, whoa, I haven't heard a progression like that, like not done well in a long time. And like that, they're super technical, but they have that melody. And I'm a sucker for melody, and I was just like, okay, I'm definitely on my permanent playlist with them. It's like, to be honest, like between them and Detherous, it was like Detherous is more of my, I have to see this live because I have to like go nuts, and listening, it's a great workout band. probably be great for working out to, but Blackwater Burial was definitely the one that was like, this is something I could just be walking around and just like listen to, because it's just that well done.
Yeah, they played an album release show in Vancouver where they played the whole album front to back, and it's a band that I want to see play live because I want to see I want to hear them and I want to see them play this music, because it's like like you said, Detherous is one where when they start playing, you want to thrash. They have that energy and that style where you just want to go crazy. But with Blackwater Burial, I would much rather just watch them perform these songs.
Yeah.
Like the track, I think it's Erased, sorry. Second track, Erased, starts off a bit slow, but then when they start getting into the more tech death riffs, it honestly sounds like they're slapping out some of the meanest riffs there have ever been written. It sounds just so intense, and to actually see them perform it live would probably be something pretty amazing.
I'd love to see what their energy is like live, because that's changed a lot of things for me in bands and previous. Like I've picked up an album before or listened to like a demo from somebody, and it sounded amazing, and then I go see them live, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I heard, you know, like. But then again, I've heard, to be completely and utterly honest, as a young metalhead, one of my first huge concerts was Pantera, and I went when I went and saw them live. Before I saw them, I was all about power metal back then, and I was like, ugh. I'm here for Slayer. Slayer was playing with them, and I'm like, I want to see Slayer, and I knew the Pantera songs. My friends will listen to them. I was like, I don't mind them. I had Cowboys from Hell. I guess it was more power metal.
Yeah.
And but when I saw that energy live, I became a hardcore Pantera fan from that moment on. I was just like, what is this? This is just like fun and insane and just awesome. And then, like, I'd love to see these guys live. Like Detherous, just the music, I don't see any way that live that can't translate. Because if it, the only way you could, you had to play it slow. Like,
but who wants to play it slow?
like,
really?
Exactly, right? Like,
who wants to hear it slow?
Like, well, I don't know a single band in my life that's ended up playing their set slow.
Yeah.
Like every band I've been in or known is like, you go and play live, and the first thing that happens is you're playing like 10 BPM faster than your record, and you're just like, because of the nerves kick in, and you're just like, or you just get pumped up.
The energy. Oh yeah, for sure. And then they're like, okay, that was a fast song, but hold on, I think we're gonna play even faster next.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna go to the point where it's just like pummeling speed, and people are like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
But I'm loving it.
Yeah. Then you've got your, like with Blackwater Burial is one of those bands that like they could be, I have to admit with you, like I'd love to see that live because there's going to be two things you're going to see from them. You're either going to see this absolutely incredible, energetic band on stage that plays tech death, which is always awesome to watch. Or they might be those super prog rockers who stand still and play it to a T. And either which way it can work. Like if you have the energy with it, I would just be really interested to see what they bring to the table live. Because it's like the record has so much influences to it that it could be very interesting to see how they perform.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really blows my mind is the fact that this is their debut album. Like they've released one other EP or kind of a demo that the songs were on this album as well. Okay. But that this is their first debut album, and it's like it blows me away. Like it's been out maybe a few weeks, and it's already a contender for album of the year for me.
There you go. Yeah, it's definitely like just listening to it over the last couple of days too. I was like, this is definitely something that I'm going to be listening to a lot more of. It's my big album of the year to this point right now is got to be, I can never say the name proper, but the band Fleshgod Apocalypse's new album.
Oh yes.
Like that the new album.
I can't even remember the name of that.
I think it's an Italian word, and let's see if I can find it.
Veleno.
Is it Veleno?
Veleno. Got it right here on Spotify.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, that is exactly like that album to me. Is like I said, a sucker for melody and symphonic things. I love. Like I used to like, for me as a chill out moment was listening to like Wagner or Bach. So it was like hearing all that combined in just like this insane form. Like their opening track, Fury, it just rips your face off.
Well, the thing about Fleshgod is that they're so good at merging the metal and the symphonic elements that it's on a totally level of its own.
Yeah, and it's just insane. Like, you have other bands like Septic Flesh that does the same thing, but like they're more a completely different vibe. Like it's, the Fleshgod's album to me this year has got to be my favorite because it's just like when my first run through it, I was like, it was the first couple songs really caught me because they just rip your face off and awesome and melodic. And then now it's like their song Mona Lisa that has like all this ups and downs, or another track off of it was just a full-on opera song. And I was like, who on a death metal album puts an opera song in the middle of a death metal album? Like, I love it. Like,
yeah, when they're not as much as metal musicians as they are just musicians now, and they can just create whatever kind of soundscape they want and make it work, because nowadays music is reaching a point where it's all just blending together, and people can take elements from every type of genre there is and mash it together into one sound. And whether you want it to be metal or whether you agree with what it is or not, people are still going to enjoy it. And the more elements that you bring in, like you said, operatic or more symphonic elements, you're going to draw in more people that are into just those kind of styles.
Yeah, it was just really, to me, like it's. I've been a fan of theirs before they brought in the really symphonic things with the Oracle, but when they did the Violation, I was just like, I don't know, like definitely on my band list forever at that point. But I was really worried with the new album, and so because I knew they lost their singer and their lead guitar player, and I knew the drummer became the singer again. Now he was the singer on Oracle, which I loved Oracle. So I was like, well, it could still be good. And as soon as I put it on, I'm like, this is the best album I've heard from them so far. So I'm definitely like, okay, well, you know what? My worries are gone.
That's great. There's one thing I want to say about metal this year in 2019 is that almost every band I've listened to, and I've listened to a lot of releases, I've been impressed with all of them. Like, I feel like metal kind of goes almost on a year-to-year basis, where one year there will be incredible releases, and the next year there would be a lot of releases that you're hyped for, but they don't pan out. Yeah. And I feel like this year, a lot of the bigger bands, like Amon Amarth is another one that comes to mind, where they put out a release where it's just you listen to it and you're like, holy shit.
They're still killing it.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I keep waiting to be like, turn on an Amon Amarth album and be like, oh, they finally lost it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm always happy to know they haven't yet. Yeah. Like, they just got that sound.
Yeah, they do. They got the sound. They've got the formula. They have like it's almost like a new wave of British heavy metal meets melodic death. Which, I mean, you can argue that that's what melodic death metal is growling heavy metal. Yeah. But they've got this template that when they apply it to their creative ideas, it just comes out as gold.
Yeah, and they obviously and that's one of the things too, is with a lot of bands too, is when you see band members change, it can be a huge detriment to the band, because when they have that golden album and then you lose one member, and you'll feel a different tone in the band if you really listen to that, if that member was something that was a highlight for you, right? I even noticed it with the last two Septic Flesh albums. Their one previous with was it Prometheus? Or what was it called? It had Prometheus on. I just really like the song.
I'm not sure. No, I've been listening to a lot of them.
They had the one drummer, absolutely amazing record. The new album came out. It was still a great record, but I could tell there was something different with the vibe, because it was a different drummer, a different feel, right? And to get back to what we were originally talking about with Blackwater Burial and Detherous, it's like they definitely have. I think they could have quite the future with themselves. Like I said, Detherous rolls through. I'm going to be there, and it's going to be. I'm going to be prepared to get pummeled a little bit that night.
I do hope they come back soon. Yeah, they put on a really good show. Yeah, absolutely. And Blackwater Burial will be in Kelowna on October 11th and 12th at Okanagan Disintegration 2019.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I think they're headlining the first night.
Okay, well, we'll be there, obviously.
We will be there.
Yeah, but I'm actually I'll be looking forward to that a lot then. It's Existential Crisis, like I said, that song just grabbed me right away. It was this is wicked.
Oh yeah, that's a fantastic song. Absolutely. I like the last track as well, has a ripping solo on it. I think it's 002s or something like that is the name of the track. 2
20s?
zeros or 20s. Well, it might be 2 zeros because there's a space between the 2 and the 0.
Yeah, I guess there is.
Or it's 20s. I don't know.
I was reading that one really funny, and I kept looking at it. Yeah, it's two zeros.
Yeah.
2 zeros. Okay. I just when I looked at it, I'm like, 20s? Is this a song about being in your 20s?
Maybe. I don't know.
All the dumb stuff we can do.
Or that we have done.
Yeah, we have done. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a list on me.
There is for me as well.
Yeah. Well, we've both taken part of a few of those ones together.
We have together. Yes, we have.
There's quite a few, but yeah, I think with Blackwater to the, like I said with cerebral peptides, it's one of those things that like, as soon as that, the way they did the melodies and they kind of just switched up in the middle of that song, I like that was the other one that caught me. Like those two definitely were two songs that really caught me right away. And like everything had that really nice melody. I was even showing a buddy of mine, actually a buddy of ours, Justin, the other day, and was showing him Blackwater Burial, and even he was like, "That's really good. I actually like that."
Wow, coming from Justin.
Yeah, and we both know he can be picky.
Oh, he can be picky. Oh yeah, definitely.
So he even liked them. So I was like, yeah, this is. I think they have something special. Like especially if they keep together and keep that sound, they'll probably do great things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think they really will. Yep. Okay. Well, I think that's it for our test run.
Yeah.
We'll stop it here, and then we'll do some post editing and whatnot.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right. Signing off.